Hello and welcome to chapter 213 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today?
Oh, not too shabby. Had today off of work. Had to finally mow my lawn. So
Ooh,
that's that season.
it's back.
Um, yeah. But no, I'm doing pretty good. Trying to think. Yeah, this is recording 2 of 5 of this for this weekend. So
Ooh,
yeah, should be. We're doing good. Doing good.
getting a few in to make the week easier, I assume.
Well, kinda. I'm still having stuff to edit everything and all that. How's it going, Iggy?
How's it going?
How
Uh,
are you doing?
I'm doing well, Joe. I had Friday off as well. I'm a little tired I was up last night doing Marvel Alliance, which they started a little later, and the time difference for me, I'm an hour and a half difference from Eastern time. So I got to finish that like something after 12. And I was up a little later, so yeah, a tiring day with a kid today, but nice. I had Monday off as well, so I'll survive. Uh,
I got Monday off too. Yay! Although I still
Woo.
gotta get up and take my daughter to school. So
Yeah, and I'm debating if I'm going to take the kid the whole day or am I going to bring him the day home. Decisions. But I'm excited to talk to you about a few things. Missed you last week. Had the Penguin trailer. It was
I'm
funny
telling you,
because
I could have recorded from the con floor. We could have made it happen.
as I always say, spoken from the guy who's not doing the editing. I'm not a good enough editor to edit out the noise, the background noise. So it was only a quick hit anyway. And I had no plans to. We were going to just call it, not have an episode. Joe was off. It would have been fine. We're up ahead a few episodes over like normal weekly output. So it would have been okay. But I said the only way I'm going live is if Penguin trailer drops. And sure enough, that's exactly
It
what
dropped.
happened.
Yep.
So I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. We'll get to that in a little bit. There's something that you might hear me rant a little bit about. I saw from one of the sites put out a Twitter post, so you'll get a little bit of a rant from me as this is not happening. But uh, before we do that, Joe, let me get the network plugs out of the way. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 7 shows in total. On Mondays, bi weekly is Ranger Alliance. On Tuesdays, weekly, for the duration of Invincible, is a walk through the multiverse with Joe. On Wednesdays is the Animation Nation. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays is DC Alliance. And Sundays monthly is World's Finest True Believers. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. And DC Alliance goes live Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also have their own podcast feeds. Search DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance if you just want DC content, Star Wars content, or Marvel content only. But if you want all 7 shows on G-Way Podcast Network, stay subscribed to the G-Way on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier, and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar like we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access to episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Myself and Joe were going through the DC films through the years. We've gone all the way from Batman 66 to the movie right up to our most recent entry, which is going to drop on Sunday, which is a V for Vendetta. I'm interested to talk to Joe about that. It's the first time viewing for me, so that's always a fun
Ooh.
discussion. We also have the Marvel Alliance guys, Chris and Brant. First, they did the Infinity Saga rewatch, over 30 pieces of content up there for the patrons. Now they're doing their Tales from the House of X, their favorite X-Men films. I'm going to petition them after they finish their favorite ones to do their least favorite ones after that.
I've already talked to Chris about that. He's not gonna do it.
It's it's not Chris that you got to sell that decision on. It's Brent, especially trying to get him to watch director's
I
cuts.
honestly, I think it's both of them. I think they're both. I'm not gonna say they're set in their ways. I think they have a thing they like to do, and that's what they do.
In their defense, they're after having to watch some of those Sony Marvel movies to review. So yeah, maybe they don't want to watch any other bad Marvel films. Yeah, so they're going through all their favorite X-Men films. Fox X-Men, Fox Marvel films,
Fox Universe, yeah.
Fox Universe. Deadpool was the first one up there. That's already up for the patrons as well. We also have Joe's Multiverse Minutes, where Joe's going through his Disney deep dive, Disney rewind, going through all the Disney films, giving you
Disney animated films, yeah.
Disney
From
animated films.
Mhm.
Sorry, yeah, I just still think of Disney the animated. I know they did the live action stuff the last
Correct.
15
Well,
years.
sure.
But
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
how we grew up on it. Disney was like the top animation. Of
they
the
had a ton of live action too. I remember watching Apple Dumpling Gang, both those
was like
movies way
Hook.
back when.
Like Hook, that wasn't.
Hook was Hook Warner Brothers? I'd have to check.
Yeah,
I gotta remember. But I mean, they had a ton of different, like, Disney used to do the Saturday night movies, on the Disney Channel or ABC. So like there is a ton of live action stuff that they have. I am currently going to be going through the animated, and once I get through the animated, then I'll go back and start watching live action.
I will really be interested in the live action ones as well. But I'm not saying I'm not interested in the animation. Love them as well. Grew up on that. We also have Katie going through Star Wars comics, and we have Clay's Marvel Snap reviews. We thank everyone that's a patron, but if you're not a patron, if you can take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to rate and view the podcast on your podcast app of choice, it's always greatly appreciated. It helps other people find the shows, and that's always a good thing. Okay, Joe, let's get into it here with the Batman talk. And first up is a rumor that the Batman 2 is looking to cast somebody, Boyd Holbrook. If you told me if he came in and punched me in the face right now, I wouldn't know who he was, as Harvey Dent. So it's looking like Harvey Dent may be positioned as part of this second film, maybe not transforming into Two-Face at all until the third. What do you think about this, Joe?
So you say you wouldn't know him, but if he had glasses on and teeth for eyes,
Wait a second.
he was a
in
Corinthian
Logan?
in Sandman.
Was he in Logan too?
He was in Logan apparently. I don't know who he was in Logan.
He was the guy
Donald Pierce?
he was the guy hunting down
Okay.
X-23, I think, just from looking at him. And yes, oh my god, I can see that.
He was the Corinthian in the Sandman show, which the Corinthian was amazing.
It was really awesome.
Honestly, when I first saw him, I'm like, is that the dude from the Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny? I don't think it is, but it looks very, very much like he is. Other than that, like, I don't know the guy's works well. I just know I've seen Logan. I don't remember his portrayal in there. I've seen Sandman. I know he did a good Corinthian. I can't remember a lot of it. But him as Two-Face, he looks like he could be a good Two-Face.
Again, he looks like a pretty boy here, but you can work that.
That's kind of what Harvey was, though. Like,
yes, and he had elements of that in the character he played in Logan. So I'm not against this casting. The article here says the news comes in the wake of the film's delay to October 2nd, 2026. Our source revealed that Holbrook was initially unavailable for production due to previous commitments, including James Mangold's A Complete Unknown and a movie called Last Meals. However, with the film's delay, his schedule opened up from the previous dates. Holbrook made his mark in the widely acclaimed Netflix original Narcos as DEA agent Steve Murphy. Additionally, he captivated audiences Donald Pierce in, you were right about the character's name, Joe, in Logan, and brought the character Corinthian to life in The Sandman, showcasing his versatility and talent, especially for antagonists across multiple roles.
Yeah, so he's got the chops. I'm fine with it.
And then it says updates. It was confirmed earlier this week by IMDb that his stunt double, Jake Tandy, has joined the project. These rumors are looking very likely.
Interesting. Okay.
So again, I'm all for this, and I don't think Matt Reeves is going to. I think he'll play a little bit more of a long game with Two-Face. I don't see with Harvey Dent. I don't see him transforming until after the second movie. I don't think he's going to take away from the other villains. So
maybe, because have they confirmed villains for this movie yet?
Not yet.
Still rumors. And I'm not saying that Two-Face will be like the bad guy for the movie. I'd rather have it be like Clayface or well, I guess really Clayface I'd want, because that's more mystic. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't need Mr. Freeze in this one. I don't think.
I just
DCU.
I'm on board with whatever, because what he's done, what he did before was great. So I'm here for it.
And again, I really think this could be something if you hold off making him turn into Two-Face until the third film, and just showcase a bit more of the friendship of Bruce and Harvey in this second film. I think his change could mean a lot more. It could be a more impactful moment.
I agree.
So
It's definitely one of those things where if it would have been different, it would have been great if Harvey was in this one,
mhm.
and then
Yeah,
say like you can see the descent in the second movie, and then by the third movie, everything happens and becomes Two-Face. Like you see it all play out in the 3 films. I think that would have been really cool. But even if it's just the 2 films, I'm fine with that too.
I'd
I
love
like
to
that
see
idea.
like, in the Penguin like some signs Harvey Dent for DA.
Well, who's to say that he won't show up in the Penguin?
Ooh, Joe, blowing
I
people's
mean,
minds.
well, I'm just saying because these rumors come out, these rumors hit these trades, and more often than not, these guys have already been cast
Yeah,
and have already signed the contract.
yeah.
And we already know like Penguin is filming right now, or are
Well,
they done
Phil,
filming?
done. They're done. They're
They're
done.
done filming. So what's the likelihood of him just having a quick appearance in there?
It's
Just a quick
possible.
little one-off in like back end of the series. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. Uh, so yeah, it's intriguing. We hope we both have confidence in Matt Reeves. So
Agreed.
moving on from the Insider, the Batman Part 2 begins filming in April 2025. Expect casting news to drop this fall. What do you think about that? There's no way we're seeing this film until 2026 if it doesn't start filming until April of 2025.
Yeah, that's. I mean, a little sad, but we knew it got delayed already, so
Yeah, so
that's
there's
fine.
definitely a possibility of it being pushed back, and I guess put one in the positive news column for uh, Matt Reeves. The Batman was not plagiarized. A U.S. district judge rules. This comes after Christopher Wozniak filing a lawsuit in 2022 alleging Warner Bros. Lifted elements from his story, The Ultimate Riddle, for Matt Reeves' film. I forgot all about this.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing. Um, the bad thing is that nothing is original anymore. Everything has elements of something else in it. So yeah, you could easily point to be like, oh yeah, that was something in my book. Yeah, but yours is from a different book as well. I mean, you're using characters from a property that you probably didn't have the rights to. I don't know. Like, come on, my dude.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like most of these filmmakers pull from various different comics instead of just one. They pull elements from all kinds of different ones. So if you saw a thing that was similar, like to stretch it out the way that you have and to throw it in the frivolous lawsuit was, again, I hope that you have to pay a whole bunch of legal fees and you get stung that way because, again, there was no need for this lawsuit. It was just, let me see if they pay me off
Well,
instead of going.
I'll say considering that people have done it and people have won, yeah, like oh, they. Well, I don't blame him for trying, but at the same time, like yeah, like you made a bad move and it didn't work out for you, Rock.
Yeah. Rock's making all the right moves right now. Uh,
Well,
in wrestling, he's back. Yeah,
that first
apparently,
move though wasn't great.
you that right. The hierarchy did change
Yeah,
completely.
really quick.
Uh, so, Joe, before we get into the news of the week, let's take our first ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe. We got some news, not a whole lot of news, but again, we can tie some of this into. I got a couple things I'm interested in your thoughts of from last week. First off, Colin Farrell talked about the Penguin, which was a fun, quick little interview he did here, promoting another project of his. But he gushed about the Penguin. Did you get a chance to watch this? I really loved his answers, talking about how violent and dark this project is going to be.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch this little this little update, but yeah, tell me about it. What did you say?
He was just talking about marveling at how violent the
Oh, it's
character was and the journey, and this character going for what he wants, which is basically this power. And I'm totally ready for this show. I can't wait for us to see it. I assume it'll be in the fall. Nonetheless, I can't wait, and it'll just transitions us into the other part of this. I wanted to know what your thoughts were on the Penguin teaser trailer.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can stretch it out. I can try to stretch it out as much as I want, but like,
Well,
I
I
was
want to ask
excited for
you,
the
did you
show,
watch?
and like,
Sorry.
well, I was excited for it already, and him talking about this guy that was from his neighborhood, this mob boss, that when he died, he got like a
Parade.
parade. Yeah, like it was respect. The guy was respected, and so he's basically trying to say, that's how I want to go out. That's how I want to be known. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out because that is Penguin. Like Penguin, especially now in the comics, he's a mob boss, but he is the one that you go to when you need things done. He'll point to people in the right direction. He'll get things done.
He'll get
And
his own hands dirty. He's not afraid to get his own hands
he's
dirty.
not.
And
And so yeah, I'm excited for it.
I gotta ask you too. Did you watch The Sopranos, Joe?
I did not.
Okay, well, this gives me a lot of Sopranos vibes as well.
Okay.
Tony Soprano specifically, James Gandolfini. I get some vibes of that character in the Penguin's performance. So I love that show. That show had a lot of twists and turns, a lot of deaths, and a lot of like mob, like moving up the chain, all that. And it looks like this film is just like that. So I can't wait for us to review that show. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
And hopefully our Fridays, move to Fridays, is a positive for that. So
I think so. Howdy, Andrew.
hey, Andrew. So we'll get to the final thing I wanted your thoughts on in just a second. First, I want to talk about Gunn. It was a day late, but Gunn shared a little tweet as well. Said couldn't share this yesterday because of a long day at work shooting Superman Legacy. But in case you haven't seen, here's the Penguin teaser. I really can't wait for you guys to see this fantastic show from DC Studios and Max. So props to Gunn for sharing this. And I did love on the Penguin teaser, one last thing it said, the next chapter in the saga of the Batman. Give me all that. Like, give me as much.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Batman.
I'm like, I'm all for the whole having a movie and like the Marvel, what Marvel's doing for the MCU, having movies and having TV shows and having them connect. I love that. I love that they're doing that. I love that it's working. So if they can do it for DC properties, I mean, chef's kiss, like make it work. And this sounds like it's gonna do just that.
I trust Gunn, and I think you can simultaneously have TV shows going for the DCU and for the Batman. I hope this Penguin show is a big hit and does some awards and that as well. Because again, if this is successful, we'll get more of this. We could get a Catwoman or a Joker or anything's on the table. So again, very excited to see this when we get to it finally. And Joe, the next thing I'm about to ask you, because you're a Superman and Lois fan like myself, they cast Jimmy Olsen for the final season.
Why?
That was my first thought when talking about that. Douglas Smith is the actor. I don't know. It doesn't say how many episodes, even though we're only getting 10. 6. And some of the other returning actors are only in a couple.
6.
I don't know what Jimmy Olsen can add now to this. Maybe some stuff with the Lex plot, perhaps. Maybe I don't see them killing off Jimmy Olsen again after seeing what some people get if you kill him off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So it was a weird thing for me. I thought you'd just focus on the characters that were already in the show to bring in a new one.
Well, but that's the thing. Why focus on the characters in the show and then get rid of half the cast and then bring in new people? Like, no, the show was great with the cast you had.
I'd rather have John Henry again for
exactly.
Yeah. So again, I thought you'd think my way on that, but it was a head scratcher for me, Joe. I was like,
I don't.
What are you doing?
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll explain it away. It's obviously going to be, for whatever reason, they go back to Metropolis and there's Jimmy. But like,
I'm hoping it's a Lex reason.
Doesn't
Like
it's
Lex knows they
probably
live at the farm, so let's. I hope that they panic, have to get out of there. Maybe you can go stay with Jimmy.
well, I mean, they were in Metropolis a lot for the last season,
Season,
right?
yes,
With
yes,
what's his
with
name? I can't remember his
Bruno
name.
Manheim.
Yes, there we go. So like them being in Metropolis isn't a bad thing. They could run into Jimmy that way. But I think you might be right. I think it might be something to do with Lex because the family's in Smallville. Like they built a life in Smallville.
Yeah, and he knows that they're there. He came to visit them in the last season. So, yeah, I was interested to hear your thoughts. That was one of the other ones. Now, this is where you're going to get my rant here because I
Okay.
don't understand the logic behind this tweet
You sure?
from.
You sure
Yeah,
you
a
don't
little bit.
understand it? You sure you
Well,
don't
okay.
understand it?
I understand it. I don't understand the logic behind it. If you watched any iteration of that, if you watched every one of the properties that made up this, you would never say this. Okay, so with the success of X-Men 97, and shout out Marvel Alliance, go watch them. I joined them Thursday nights live to talk about the new episodes of X-Men 97. DC Film News tweeted out, should DC Studios revisit the DC animated universe following the success of X-Men 97? And I got to ask you, Joe, what do you think?
No.
Now,
Plain and simple.
I
No.
got a feeling I know you're going to say the exact reason why I would say no.
That's
And that
one of
is
the reasons. But yes,
Kevin
go ahead.
Kevin Conroy has passed away.
Yes.
And the whole DCAU was built on the shoulders of his magnificent voice.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some helping out there a couple times by Tim Daly, like sliding over and helping shoulder load for a little bit there when he was doing his own show.
But then they both did it come Justice League. So
But
like
even though that was happening, you still had Skipper having done Batman Beyond.
yeah.
So like he's pulling double duty here. He's
Mhm.
showing up in other movies. Newburn came in for Justice League too. So but Conroy continued to stay. So he's been the one constant. So even suggesting that you do that over makes no sense to me. His Batman's beloved. What are you going to do? Are you going to try and pull a Rick and Morty and get somebody to voice Batman like Kevin Conroy voiced him? Is
Which I'm
that
sure they could. There's
yeah?
plenty
Oh
of
yeah!
great
Oh
voice
yeah!
actors
Oh yeah!
out there. But yeah, he's the main reason why you can't. And
Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons why X-Men 97 is working. You've got the original voice cast back.
Most of them.
That's how you got all of them.
Cyclops who voiced Cyclops passed away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
A few and a couple of the cast are voicing different actors because they're older now and they don't have the same inflections. And the Jubilee character is not voiced by the same actress because they want it to be more
Kiddie,
be more mindful. Be more mindful of representation.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. So a couple of them are different,
interesting.
but there are some that are same. There are some that's playing older characters or some that are playing different characters, but there are some like Wolverine is Wolverine, Rogue is Rogue, Storm is Storm. There's a few others like that are the same people, but there are some differences too.
Oh, well then, that changes my answer to no still.
Yes. I was going to
No.
say, what? You should see my face. I was like,
no, well, and again, Kevin Conroy is Batman. Like, he was the animated version Batman. You really can't do an animated reboot with, not reboot, requel, I guess would be the right word,
yeah.
without him. And you could, in theory, get other people, and that's fine. But I think, like, we've tried that before, though. You know, like, isn't the new Batman series that Amazon is going to be putting out, isn't that supposed to be like a sequel to?
No, it's not. It's supposed to be everything that he couldn't do with Batman the Animated Series because of like standards and practices.
Okay.
Yeah. What he wanted Batman the Animated Series to really be.
Gotcha. No, I'm all for them to do new stuff. I loved the new 52 universe. The Rebirth universe was whatever. They had their ups and downs. I loved all their just single movie projects. So why not just make something new?
Or Continue on with Young Justice. If you if you want to keep something going, continue on with Young Justice.
Yeah, but they got weird at the end of this last season.
Yeah, but they're still set up to see Darkseid
Yeah,
and
it was still
Vandal
set.
Savage.
Like
So
you could still do things.
So again, if you're looking to revive anything, I know it's
Or
not the
Teen
same
Titans. Weird. Teen Titans,
nostalgia.
you could
There you go, the
totally
original Teen
get like
Titans.
it's not like the cast is going anywhere. They're doing Teen Titans Go right now.
Yeah, so you could do that as well, Joe. But I think reviving the DCAU is just foolish. It just pisses me off that they would even put that out there because nobody is going to say yes without Kevin Conroy. None of
There's
the core
actually,
Justice
if you
League
actually
cast
look
will.
through the answers, there's a few people that said yes, please.
Yeah, which again, I'm not without
But
Conroy.
there was
No.
more without Conrad.
Yeah.
There was more that said not without Kevin. So
So
yeah.
glad the people agree with us there, but I thought that was foolish when I was looking through. Okay, this was another one. There was a campaign, sort of. I didn't see it didn't resonate like other campaigns that I've seen before. Batgirl fans rally for filmmaker after Bad Boys 4 trailer drops. No way it could have been unreleasable.
Look, I want to see this project as much as the next person.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
No, it's dead. It's I don't know how to explain
and
it
to
you
sucks.
guys.
I hate that.
Tax write-offs, but
who did I talk
dead.
to? I think I'd actually talked to somebody who had seen parts of it and like, yeah, no, it's as bad as you thought it was. Like, so they're for WB, and this was obviously again before the editing, before everything. But like they said it wasn't great, and
they didn't get a chance to edit it either.
And that's the big thing, you know. So I don't know.
It says here, Bad Boys 4 dropped this highly anticipated trailer on Tuesday, and fans could not be more excited by the Will Smith, Martin Lawrence re-team, led by directors Adi El Arbi and B.L. Fila. But the project titled Bad Boys Ride or Die looked so sleek and fun that the trailer also raised questions just how bad the filmmaking duo's Batgirl, which was scrapped by Warner Bros. In 2022, was. As film critic Matthew Essery put it, I'm more convinced than ever that there's no way the director's Batgirl's film could have been unreleasable. These guys got the sauce.
Well, yeah.
And then it was like, gentle reminder, the test screening for Batgirl got a 60% approval rating with no score and no finished VFX. If 60% approved of your unfinished movie, especially without music, then you made a damn good movie. So, again, I didn't see enough of it. It didn't show up to me that it was trending. And like Joe said, you're not getting it back. I don't know how to tell you guys about tax write-offs, but you can't go back 4 or 5 years later and say, no, I want to rechange that, no matter the state of your company. So,
yeah, I think the difference here for Batgirl than for Zack Snyder's Justice League is that the way, like, that film wasn't actually canceled. That film came out.
Yeah.
Like, it came out in 2017. It was changed, and all of the other dailies and all of the other film reels that was made were sitting on a shelf somewhere. The film came out. Zack Snyder was then approached during COVID to re-edit his film and release it.
No. First, he was approached to just release it bare bones, just as it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But regardless, he got asked
because
Warner Brothers needed to come out with something, and here's a project on the shelf. He got asked. He agreed. He went back, did some editing a little bit, did some more filming. Here we go. We got a movie. Movie came out. So that's how we got that one. This one, the movie's done. They're not coming back to it. And they basically said, we're not going to do this. We scrapped it. It's not sitting on a shelf somewhere. They deleted those files. It's gone.
It's done. Somebody didn't get out with the jump drive. It got like wiped away, and you can't, like I said, just accounting purposes, you can't go back and take that back now.
Yeah, because
already benefited after
if
loss.
Anything of this movie comes out, if this movie hits like any sort of like any shelf anywhere,
there will be investigation.
Somebody is going to get thrown in jail so quickly.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. Maybe not quickly, but yeah, they'll definitely be in trouble. That unless you're going through like some back alleys across overseas to make this come out, like you're not. It's not happening.
No, not at all, Joe. It's not a good spot there. So we're at the bare bones bottom part of our news. Legend of Tomorrow showrunner considered a Scrubs reunion in the Arrowverse with Zach Braff voicing Skeet alongside Donald Faison's Booster Gold. We love Zach. We thought about him maybe being the voice of Booster Gold's little robot Skeets. Did you watch the last season of the Legends, Joe, and see the Booster Gold cameo? I
No,
myself
because
just watched that, and I thought it was ridiculous.
I think I'm like 2 seasons behind on Legends. I don't
You're
know.
good. You're good.
I stopped when Sarah got abducted by aliens.
You're good, Joe. You're good. You're good.
Eventually, I will finish. I will go back and finish all of I'll rewatch all of the Arrowverse, but that will be some other time.
I will give them Legends of Tomorrow a little credit. I've seen a lot of their trending before. I haven't seen it in a while now, but it seemed like it was consistent for a while after it was canceled. You have 7 seasons of a show. I would never complain about getting another season if I had 7.
Honestly, 4 seasons.
I never thought it would
get
to 5. So again, color me
right.
impressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been cool to see a Scrubs reunion, as I'm a big Scrubs fan. Eagle, but I wasn't a fan of the Booster Gold there. Next up, Joe, Aquaman: Lost Kingdom was the most streamed movie of the week of its release on Max of February 26th to March 3rd. What do you think about this? I'm seeing all kinds of ads for it coming up on Crave TV now, even though I don't even have Crave, just TSN app March Madness that I've been watching. It comes up on the Crave. It comes up for Crave advertising Aquaman every time. What do you think about these numbers, Joe?
I mean, it's no different than Flash having the big numbers when they got released on HBO. Like it's when it's at home and people can view it at their convenience, people will watch it. And didn't it also it didn't make $1 billion or anything, but if I remember correctly,
it did okay.
It did decent numbers in theaters because they put it out there. It didn't get great opening weekend, but it stayed in theaters and it still made did it make money? I know for as long as it was in theaters, it made a decent chunk of money, but I don't know if it actually broke even or made over. I can't remember what those actual numbers were.
Let me see here. Wikipedia. Box office.
This is where we revamped.
Surpassing 400 million. So
just 400 million?
It could be more. That might have been an old thing there. It's not showing up exactly where it is. So.
Okay, so according to Wikipedia, the
434.
Budget,
434.
Yeah, the budget was 205 to 215 million, and it made 434.4 million.
No profit.
So definitely not a lot of profit.
No profit.
I mean,
if you did 2.5 times is usually the good thing to add to it. So
is it just 2.5 now? I thought it was just double at least.
Might be 2.5. I thought, but I could be wrong.
Either way, I don't know.
Not great, Joe. Not great. But again, good for the streaming service. More people come. Hopefully, you got some new subscribers coming for that. The final little piece of news here, Joe, was a gift from Jerry Siegel's grandsons, Michael and James Larson, a reprint of the first issue of Action Comics signed by Jerry. Just was a James Gunn post. It's been great having Mike and James around, keeping Jerry's spirit alive in the birth of the DCU. Here we all were on the day of the cast read through. So pretty cool little gift for him, and shows what kind of Superman fan he is. And props to Jerry Siegel's family for giving that to James Gunn.
I think my brother has that reprint.
I hope that the family is compensated for the use of the character. I know DC isn't as bad as Marvel. I think the guy was like, I got more for KG Beast than Thanos.
Yeah, Yeah.
So yeah, I do think
But
that
like I
they
also
do
I
pay well.
know
Company's not
I
as good though. Nah.
I think the whole Siegel Schuster like debacle for Superboy, I think that's kind of put them in a hey, we're gonna pay our people. Like
Yeah.
they've definitely like changed their tune on how they use the characters and how they use the rights.
Yeah, they were properly compensated for a while there. That
Well, especially since the Siegel and Schusters, like for the longest time, they had a big lawsuit with DC, not
yeah,
just Superboy,
no,
like but Superman too.
across
Like
the board, yeah.
like they were trying. It was a whole thing for multiple years. So I definitely think that DC has learned. Like, yes, this guy is our moneymaker. We're gonna pay properly the characters that are made us the money.
Yeah.
So
So good for them. Good on DC there. So Joe, that wraps up the news that we had here. Slow week this week, of course, but we have our Smallville retro recaps to end the night. Uh, let's dive into this here, Joe. Uh, yeah. So season
we got
4, episode 11, Unsafe. The return of character Alicia Baker, who was released from Belle Reve. What do you think about this episode, Joe? Do you remember watching this?
I do remember it. I also now remember after watching it how much everybody just wanted to have unprotected sex.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big thing in the early
Literally
2000s.
literally the whole episode.
Yeah,
Everybody's trying to bone.
yeah, and Martha doesn't like it.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just say, the very end of the episode, like Clark is talking to them after Alicia did what she did and put the red necklace over him, which also like, come on, what are you doing, girl?
Yeah,
Like, come on.
come on.
But they're upset that he made this decision to run away and get married and do all this. He was under red kryptonite influence.
Mhm.
Yes, there's some part of him that is doing that, but when that red kryptonite's around him, he has no control. You know
Nope.
this. That was
Yeah.
the whole point of the beginning of season 3.
Yep.
What do you like?
Also, you forgave him for those things that he did in the beginning of
Exactly.
season 3.
Like,
I was right there with you, Joe. That
but this
infuriated
time,
me. Like, well, honestly, I was like, "What the fuck? What? What? Shut up, Martha! You dumb right now." Like, no,
Yeah,
he didn't have any control. So yeah, that infuriated me. I love the two characters. I thought they had great chemistry.
they do.
Uh,
They really do.
Shout out to Sarah Carter who showed up on Talkville. That was an enjoyable interview. I know there was an old fan of DC Alliance. I don't know if they still watch or not. It was, I think it was, might have been back when Clay was hosting. They would write in asking us questions about Sarah Carter, wanting us to like fan casting Sarah Carter in different roles and stuff. So if you're out there, I think his name was Chris. Uh, you would love this episode of Talkville. Not gonna lie, that's the first thing I thought about when I was watching it. Was, man, that guy, he who listened to DC Alliance, he would really love this. So yeah, I thought she was great, Joe. There was a really good interview with her. She was talking about the chemistry she had with Clark, and you see it here. The skating, I thought the skating scene was fabulous.
It was. I mean,
So cute.
the two of them. It also helps that this is the one person that Clark was attracted to before that has the knowledge of his powers
And not telling anybody or not being scared, just accepting.
So he can be himself around her, and he's happy. Like he's legitimately happy. And of course, what happens is she does a bad, and it upsets him. But that is, let's be honest.
In her defense, the guy was threatening to send her back to Belle Reve and said, because after they went for the skate, her handler came and said, "You got to break it off with him." Also,
yeah, but she could have easily talked to him.
A Talkville little thing. They gave Tom Welling a stick after he put skates on. It was like, "Here, go around 3 times and learn how to skate." And he was like they would look at me like I was Canadian. He was like, "I didn't have a clue on the skates." He was like, "But we use it that way." As Sarah, he said, was really good, so we did the Clark being clumsy, and he was like, "That wasn't a bit. I didn't have a clue how to skate." So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool little nugget there. That was actual. It's not really that much acting going on there.
That's good. No, I mean, all in all, good episode. I know she's back next week. So I'll be interested to see when we get to that one and
That's a
happens in
really
that
good
episode.
episode. That's one of my favorite of this season. Yeah, it was. I thought it was more enjoyable than that was going to be. The frustrating at the end because normally the parents are on point, but this one was guys like what the hell you're using,
Well,
and we get
I think because the whole episode they were like, she knows who you are.
yeah
She teleported out and they just let her teleport out, and he's like explained to her, no, she was released, she was reformed. That's one of those situations where Clark has his I don't even say blind, like they'll say he's
no
got blinders on. No, he is looking at
the
logically.
parents has blinders
The
on in this
parents
case.
have the blinders, like Martha and Jonathan have the blinders on this time around, and it's like,
But I
come
see it
on,
more for
guys.
Jonathan because he has the same thing with Lex. Like he has a hard time forgiving once
Yes,
you do a thing. So
but it's
again,
also he's trying to protect his son as much as he
yeah,
can, and that while I mean, props to him, his son is like an adult. His son is
yeah,
almost 18. He's gonna have to start looking at you. Just have to hope and pray that you taught him well enough
right
that
decision.
he knows what's right and wrong. This is a situation where he knows what's right and wrong, and they're telling him he's wrong, but he's actually right. So,
And you can't go to Big Daddy Jarrell all the time getting
no.
superpowers to teach him a lesson. So,
Yep.
yeah, Joe's right there. I'm excited for next week's episode. It'll be a fun discussion. Joe is one of my favorite of season 4. Listeners, this was a bit shorter of an episode, slower week news wise, but still fun time. Joe, I'll see you back here next week for more DC goodness.
Yes, sir.
See you, listeners.
Bye, y'all.